Good afternoon, everybody.
From Da Nang.
So last time you guys saw us, we were in a town called Pleiku, which is in the mountains about 220 miles from here. We did not do a lot of filming yesterday because we had barely enough daylight to make that whole drive in one day. So we filmed very minimally, and we just wanted to get here before it got dark.
But it was a beautiful drive through the mountains. We saw like just awesome waterfalls, and I met this really cute little baby that hung out with us for like an hour. But yeah, now we're in Da Nang, which is just a stunning seaside city.
And Tia scored on this hotel room.
Look at this. Tell me this isn't the biggest bed you've ever seen. That's ridiculous.
I think it's wider than it is long.
Yeah, like, okay. Oh my god, so this is just around $20 a night. It includes breakfast, and it has one of the best views I think we've had on this trip. And you can see the Dragon Bridge from our window, and at night it just glows. It's so pretty. And also, this is the best view I think I've ever had in a bathroom. Isn't that crazy?
So the reason why we rushed to Da Nang over the last few days is our visas only have a limited amount of time left on them. And Da Nang is basically one of 3 cities in Vietnam that has a kind of setup to try and extend visas. So we've been talking to a bunch of different visa agents here in Da Nang, and we think we have it figured out, but
we'll see in a few days.
Yeah, we'll find out in a couple days. Okay, so a couple weeks ago now, we said we were going to do a Q&A, and we still haven't done it. So that's what we're doing today. We thought it would be nice because after all that driving, it's kind of a rest day today. My dad's in his room, and we're just going to
answer some questions.
Yeah.
So we got a ton of questions, which is so awesome. Thank you guys for that. It handwritten style this time. We noticed that everything kind of fell into 3 main categories, which are like stuff about our life, stuff about our travel, and then a lot of questions about our expenses. So I think we're gonna do those 3 categories in that order.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. What did I say first? Life? Okay. Cheveyo, how did you get your name and how do you pronounce it?
Okay, so it's pronounced Cheveyo, and it's Hopi, Native American. That's a tribe in the Southwest United States. And my parents gave it to me, so that's how I ended up with it.
He's not Native American.
I'm not Native American, but yeah.
Number 2, you do Tia for scale a lot. How tall is Tia? That's a very good question.
That is, wow, I never really thought about that.
No, I'm 5'5".
There it is. What are our zodiac signs?
Ooh, I'm a Virgo.
And I'm a Libra.
You can tell, right?
Yeah, you can, I mean, a Virgo would say that. What do you use to edit your videos, and how long does it take?
Ah, okay. So we just recently moved over to Final Cut in the last, like, what, month or so?
Yeah, like maybe 5 videos ago, we moved over to Final Cut. Before that, we were using iMovie, which is just free software that comes with Apple computers. And we kind of finally started to reach the limits of that, so we switched over.
And how long does it take us? So we split each video up by half and half, and it takes like what? Between 6 to 8 hours?
Yeah, and a few videos have taken longer than that for sure. A lot of the times we start editing at the end of the day when we're done filming, and we'll finish editing around midnight or just before then, so yeah.
So this one's kind of an interesting one. How do you do your haircuts? Okay, so what, 5 years ago, in order to save money, we started cutting each other's hair, and that's
so we just kept doing that.
Yeah,
So if you've been wondering why our hair looks like this all the time, it's because we cut each other's hair.
I think we do a good job.
Yeah. Okay, that's all for the lifestyle question category. Tia loves categories.
I do. I love lists and I love categories. Okay, So the next category was travel. This one actually had a lot of questions.
I think these were mostly... Okay, so I'll preface this by saying that we try not to hand out advice too often, but there were a couple questions in here that we thought were really useful and we would have liked to know the answers to before we started traveling. So a couple of these might be a little bit advicey, starting with the first one. Tips for traveling light.
Ooh. Okay, so let's see. Each of our backpacks weigh 7 kilograms. Before we left on this trip, they were definitely heavier. So
yeah, I think the best tip that I could get for that is just pack absolutely everything that you think that you might need, and then get rid of half of it.
Yeah.
And do that like 3 or 4 times, and you'll probably arrive at a more realistic amount of stuff to be packing.
And if you're ever really missing anything, you just buy it as you go. Okay, easy. How far in advance do you plan?
I think that's probably pretty obvious in some of our videos, but we don't plan that far ahead at all.
No, not even, yeah.
A lot of the times we don't even pick the hotel that we're going to stay at until a few hours ahead of time.
Yeah, we like the spontaneity of just like the day-to-day. Also, you know, with the world situation the way it is, it's just like long-term travel plans is just kind of...
Yeah, you're very likely to get disappointed if you try and make travel plans more than a few weeks out. So.
Yes. Definitely have vague plans for what we would like to do down the road.
Yeah, we always have like ideas and stuff, but they don't really solidify until a couple days ahead of time at the most. Because you travel so light, is there anything you miss? Is there anything you miss?
It's gonna be really dorky, but I really like to crochet. Stop! I miss like just sitting down and watching movies and just crocheting things. There's definitely not enough room in my suitcase for that, but that's what I miss.
I used to work on cars just as a way to like wind down and relax, and
can't bring a car in our backpack.
Yeah, definitely can't do any of that stuff. So I do miss that. There's been a small part of me in the back of my head this whole time hoping that one of our bikes would break down, so that I could try to fix it.
Oh yeah, you had to put the phone holder on the bike, and he got so excited because he got a wrench out. He's like, I'm gonna fix this. So cute.
Most used websites and apps?
That's a good question. Okay, so for hotels, we use hotels.com and we use Agoda. And occasionally Airbnb, but not really. They're kind of expensive.
Also, another thing that we use is an app called Trail Wallet, which is really great for tracking expenses while you're traveling.
Which we'll talk about more in our expenses category.
But also, it's not sponsored.
Oh yeah, no. What brand are your sandals? They're Luna sandals. They're really good. They're minimalist, I guess, barefoot sandals. We're planning on traveling for a year or so. Any tips on how to prepare for it? Okay, so let's see. Some basic things that we did when we first were planning on this trip. We started working more jobs to save money. We cut all unnecessary expenses.
Like eating out and all that stuff.
What else did we do?
I would say more just for the actual travel part of it too. If you're getting ready to leave on a long trip for a year or more, I would say just get rid of pretty much everything you own. Obviously keep things that are important to you, but just get rid of everything else, like furniture and all that stuff. You're just gonna get back after a year and find that you don't care about any of that stuff anymore. Yeah. Also, storage units cost money.
Yes, yes they do.
So use a family member.
Thanks, Mom and Dad. Hey, we only have 2 boxes of stuff. We have winter coats and we have our memories box.
Well, then I have a box of tools.
Oh yeah, your box of tools. And I have a box of yarn. So, besides all of that, we don't have any things.
Okay, next question.
Okay. What has been your hardest travel moment so far? That's a good one.
That is a good one. In December, I had a niece born. Her name is Ivy, and I still haven't been able to meet her because we hit the road last June.
And haven't been back home at all.
And haven't been back home at all. So I'm hoping to meet her here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about for you?
For me, it was in Thailand when I hurt my back. I think if you guys watched the videos, I went to the hospital and had to get MRIs done, but I couldn't walk for like 2 weeks. And that was just not fun, and it was a little scary and just...
I mean, Thailand has an absolutely amazing medical system,
Mm-hmm.
honestly better than our home country in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always scary to get hurt when you're away from home, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Last question in our travel category. What was our motivation to start traveling? Can we do it?
Yeah.
Okay. For me, it was when we first got together, we just talked about travel and how much we, wanted to see the world.
We talked about that on our first date.
We did 6 years ago. And every moment from that conversation, we just been building this dream and just figuring out ways to make it possible. So this has been 6 years in the making.
Yeah, it's just what we both wanted to do together since the beginning. I think we both kind of made the decision that we'd be willing to make sacrifices in other parts of our lives to do it while we were young.
Yep.
So here we are.
Here we are.
All right, the last
I feel
category
like
here.
this is overwhelmingly the most amount of questions was asked about our finances.
Which is totally reasonable.
Yeah, I would want to know too.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, what is our daily budget?
So over the course of a year, we're trying to stick to an average daily budget of $100 a day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's around $36,500 a year.
And it does fluctuate between more expensive countries like Europe or Singapore. We kind of raised it up to like 120, 150.
Yeah, like $150 a day. And then in Southeast Asia, most of the time we're able to do about $75 a day.
Mm-hmm.
And this is all for both of us. And so far, we're pretty much on target to hit that. We haven't been traveling for a year quite yet. I think we have 2 months left.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll do an update then on exactly how much we spent. But I think roughly we're on target.
And how do you manage your budget? So we, like we said before, we use a app called Trail Wallet. Not sponsored. It's just like a daily log that we put in food and accommodations, literally anything we spend money on.
And that's been really nice. It has like a built-in currency converter. Again, this sounds like it's sponsored, but it's totally
It's
not.
just a super useful app that we use.
And it's nice to keep, I think that's a great way to keep yourself accountable, because if you go over one day, you're mindful of that the next day. Are you guys into travel hacking or credit card churning? So we read about this like a month or two before we left on the trip. So we didn't have as much time to save up points that I know some people who go on trips like this do. But we still were able to save up quite a few credit card points. That really has helped pay for some pricier hotels, like the hotel in Dubai. We got for a really good deal on points, and it's helped with a couple flights. So also we have a credit card that gives us access to lounges in a lot of airports, and that has already paid for itself several times over just with the food that you get in the lounges for free.
And we definitely take advantage of that. So this was the most asked question, or questions, I guess. What is our source of income, and are we making money on YouTube?
So we have a couple sources of income. There's YouTube. We're lucky enough to be monetized.
Yep.
And also Buy Me a Coffee. So that's just basically you guys that are kind enough to support us in that way, which we very much appreciate.
Yes, very, very much. So thank you. And then also anything else comes straight out of our savings.
Yeah, so that's not really income, it's just money that we saved up for the last 4 years or so.
For those who are wondering, we have not had any paid brand deals. All the ones you've seen, like the scuba diving in Koh Tao or the EXO tours, was activity in exchange for a video.
Yeah. But that does lead into the big question, and that is, how much do we make on YouTube? So it fluctuates wildly from day to day, so we're just going to tell you guys exactly what we have made over the past almost year of being on YouTube. And that is about $7,000.
Yep, over the last year.
Yeah, so that is definitely a number that has helped us offset a lot of our traveling expenses for sure, and it's been awesome. But we're nowhere near breaking even.
Okay.
All right, the last question.
Ba-da-da-da-da.
Total spent so far.
Ooh.
Actually, don't know. We can add it
I
up
have
real
no
quick.
idea. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, we just added it all up. So we spent over the last 10 months or so.
Just over $32,000. So that's what 10 months of budget travel costs for 2 people.
Okay, well, that's it. We did have a lot of questions that were asked previously that we've answered in our last 2 Q&As, like how we met and like our previous jobs and stuff. So we'll link those
Somewhere down below.
somewhere.
Thanks for watching this, you guys.
Thank
and
you.
We'll see you guys in the next one.
Subscribe.
So this is a Q&A video.
Oh, the reason we're in Danae. Oh, we already said that.
It's fine. Your hair looks weird.
And lastly, for our travel section, stop laughing.
Obviously, keep things that are important to you, like heirlooms or stickers or.
What?
Okay, one more time.
Oh my god. Okay. What?
Oh.
Housekeeping? Uh-oh.
Oh.
I swallowed my spit.
Still eat all that. So yeah, that's that. Almost about. So yeah, that's